In this video, traders, we're going to look at winning by doing the opposite of losing traders. What are the common attributes of losing traders that if we keep in our mind and say, hey, let's just do the opposite of that, it gives us a very good chance of success. Stick around. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. All right, so we know losing traders have very common traits. You'd have had them yourself. Nobody starts trading and wins straight away. I don't know anybody. Maybe there's somebody out there who has. We all have these traits that we do, and then eventually we kind of fix them and try to look at things differently. But what about sometimes you look at the whole picture and go, right, I am just going to set my habits and my standards as a trader completely opposite to how beginner traders, which are generally losing traders, operate. And then framing that all the time when you make your trading decisions and seeing how you get on with that. So the first thing is generally, I am generalizing a bit here guys, but generally losing traders, beginner traders tend to have big losers, i.e. they'll make some money and they'll do some big damage. And the account will go along and all of a sudden they'll just have a massive drawdown, go along a bit, massive drawdown. So as a winning trader, you need to try to have maybe small losers and then big winners. And so, okay, operationally, how do you deal with that? Well, traders often do this because they are, and we'll talk about this in a moment, but they often exhibit the characteristics or common characteristics of, or the common characteristics of losing trader, adding to the positions, overtrading, trading too much size. So just think about what does the damage to the account and do the opposite. So that moves us very nicely onto overtrading. Overtrading is, we've done this many times before, guys. Overtrading is just, really damaging to the account, especially when people are trading on a whim. So if you think, right, I need to undertrade, i.e., and it's worth just going the other way and saying, okay, I should trade as little as possible. The very best trade ideas, because I know that if losing traders are overtrading, I should be undertrading. This is the point, guys, the theme. How you operationally decide what to do, up to you, but the theme. I should trade much, much less because I know a common theme for losing traders is overtrading. Okay, adding to losers. Many losing traders, when the trade's going against them, they'll add and add and add and add. Now, you may not be at that state now. You might be, okay, I'm struggling a bit with my P&L, I'm not getting the traction I want, but I'm not adding to lose. I've got rid of the bad habits. But we're taking this one step further. We're saying, okay, well, don't eliminate the bad habits, but do what they do on the opposite way. So if they're adding to losers, what's the opposite of that? That's reducing losers. We could say adding to winners is not quite the same. If they're adding on the way down, you're in the same position, but you reduce the position as it goes lower rather than adding it. Then that naturally, if that's a common theme of losing traders, that's naturally going to put you in the driving seat in a more powerful position. So think about that, reducing losers as it goes lower rather than adding to losers. And if you don't add to losers, rather than having that fixed stop, something to consider. Actually, a while ago, it might be up already. If not, it's on its way up. I did a video about a Roblox trade, Roblox stock in the US, if you're not familiar. And I got caught on a gap lower. As I'm transparent with you guys, it's just trading wins and losses. That's the way it works. And I got caught. But what I did was I reduced the loser straight away, and I then watched and operate. Go check the video if you want to see the whole thing. But the point is, knowing, and I didn't intentionally think about what losing traders do. A little bit further on in my journey than that. But thinking about it now, losing trader probably will add to the position, add to the position, add to the position, and do the opposite of what I did. Yes, it was still a losing trade for me, and yes, I had to take a loss on it, fine, but it was far less than it could have been, and it could have been much more devastating if you'd done the complete opposite. So, something to think about. Anyway, right, taking winners too soon, what's the opposite of that? Running winners. We know this, but think about this. Beginner traders tend to see, oh, it's 500 bucks there. There's 500 pounds there. I've got to take it. It's 500 pounds. They just look at the P&L and snatch it. Now, as a winning trader, you think opposite to that and go, okay, well, no, I'm not taking that because that's what losing traders do. Losing traders snatch at profits. My job is to extract as much as possible. My job is to leave the trade. Don't touch it. See where it goes. Be prepared to give back that 500 pounds or 300 pounds if you're going to split it up a little bit for the chance of getting more. That's the attribute of a winning trader. Final one I've got for you guys is stops in obvious places. This is a big one. And I think I want to do a whole video on this, maybe a video series. Very often we talk about putting our stops in the specific places. And for some setups, that's fine. If you're in the right kind of conditions, the stop should be there. But sometimes, guys, you've got to think a little bit ahead of the game. You've got to go, you know what, that's where everyone else's stop is going to be. And the majority of people are losing money. Now, that's got to go down the rabbit hole of stop hunting, all this kind of stuff, and did a video a little bit on this topic before, last week I think it was. But if you start to think, right, where's everybody going to trade this classical pattern and where's their stop going to be? Well, then trade the opposite. Put your limit where that stop would be and see what happens. And I think you'd be surprised, or will be surprised. In fact, I know you'll be surprised. You're taking these traditional patterns and you're trading them literally the opposite to what they say. I think you'll be surprised at results. Now, this is where we kind of comes in with the filtering. Some of those patterns are excellent under the right conditions. This is where losing traders take them all the time. Flags, high tight flags, one of my favorite patterns. I've talked about it numerous times before, but the right conditions, why I operate in a filter and trigger type scenario, because it has to be the right conditions. But if you take a flag in substandard conditions, if you do the opposite of what you should do in good conditions, if you sell at the top of the flag, or if you're, as it looks to break out and you're in the wrong conditions, that's the right thing to do, because fake outs generally happen. It looks like a flag, smells like a flag, but conditions are wrong. It's in a range of this kind of other stuff that we look to grade the setup. If you're taking the opposite of that, then that's probably going to be exactly the right thing to do. Anyway, kind of digressing slightly. The point is, just think about where everyone would have their stops and consider doing completely opposite. Well, maybe that's where I should consider getting in. Maybe that's where I should consider buying this thing. So, big losers, guys, flip this into big winners. Overtrading, move to undertrading. Adding to losers, move to reducing losers. Taking winners off too soon. Running winners. Stops in obvious places. Put your limits where the stops are. Anyway, something to think about, guys. Again, no recommendation, etc., etc., etc. All the risk disclaimers that come with trading, but those are things that, if we think about that logically, if we can start to reverse the habits of losing traders, that's going to at least give us some sort of edge to build from. Take care, guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.